Hello everybody, welcome back to PadFootTD Games. My name is Zach, I'm the voice behind the icon, and today we are back once again in a Virtual Sailor Next Generation with the beautiful Disney Wonder. Hold on. Had to get everything set up. Professional! No, not even close. Alright, well, welcome back everybody. We had a very smooth night last night from Honolulu. Really just kind of a crawl over here to to Kauai. Sorry. To Kauai. We are going to be docking in Nawiliwili, which will be right about here. Let me actually show you kind of this approach here. Let's pop into the bridge really quick. So, ooh, come on. So we left Honolulu last night, crept along, and made the journey over really pretty smooth. All right, so Nawiliwili is one of those ports that is like one of the hardest to get into, my personal opinion, the way that they have it set up here. So these pieces here, these are rocks that are under the water. So I've already turned off autopilot. I'm already taking control here. Beautiful lighthouse here that we're going to be passing shortly. But I'm going to keep ourselves, keep going steady at 12 knots, and then we're really going to slow down because we have to kind of make this turn, keep right in here, right in the middle. Over, kind of bring ourselves in, turn ourselves, point ourselves, and put the stern right here. Now, we're also going to reproduce, and I'll make sure that I put it in here. My favorite photo that I've ever taken of the ships was taken right here. So I look forward to recreating that photo. But it is a foggy morning. Feels like we should be out here, you know, just with our foghorn, but not exactly needed as we go through. I'm actually going to turn this a little bit more because I really want a sweeping action in, just to be careful. Like I said, there's a beautiful lighthouse here. Oh gosh, what was the name of that lighthouse? I love when I type in maps now, it just brings up Hawaii because it knows. Well, that's Hilo. I need to go over to Nawiliwili, which I hate because I don't think I'm pronouncing it correctly. And the last thing I want to do is offend anybody, but that's just what I know. Our guide that we had when we were here never pronounced it yet. I know it's Kauai. That's it. It's the Ninini Point Lighthouse right up here, which is cool that it actually got duplicated as well. So yeah, really watching our speed, really going to be going like 5 knots as we come in here, because we do need to, you know, make it around that seawall. And it's luckily it's not super windy today. We do have some beautiful weather for us to be bringing this in here, but just really want to make sure that we get in there safe and, you know, all comes together. Hope you guys are having a great day. This is the beginning of mine, so no way to start it than docking the beautiful Disney Wonder here in beautiful Hawaii. But yeah, let's actually talk a little bit about Nawiliwili or Kauai. So, on our voyage, we were here for 2 days. This was our last stop before we went to Vancouver. Hi, Ezzy. Ezzy just came in. It's like, I want to take the microphone from you. No. So we were here for 2 days. This was right before our crossing, so this was our last islands in Hawaii before we went up to Vancouver. And so let's talk about that really quick. So first off, 2 days I always think kind of takes away a little bit of the experience of being anywhere, in my personal opinion. Because you're used to sailing. It's not a hotel, and when you sit somewhere, you're like, oh, okay. I've done that once in Barcelona before. Sitting there for the last day of the trip felt really weird. Seeing people get off the ship early was weird. Like, there's people all packed and like, yeah, I'm just going to get off a day early. Why? First off, you paid to be there, and you're cutting your vacation short, at least that portion of it. regardless, they seemed like they had plenty of money to make those kind of decisions anyways. But I digress. The first day that we were here, we pulled in early in the morning. Sun was just coming up, and got alongside the pier. I remember we ate some food. Then Danielle and myself made our way off the ship, and Ella had broken her gentle lead. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ella is my service dog. I am partially deaf, and she hears for me. She's a hearing alert service dog. I've been partnered with her since 2017, so we've been together for a long time. And we use a gentle lead system, not for walking. We use it for pointing. That is one of our forms of communication to one another, is pointing me in the direction of scary sounds or pointing me away from scary sounds. So it's kind of like that. It's one of those essential parts, and I knew that we were going to be going 5 days at sea and going to Vancouver and flying home. I needed a new gentle lead. Now, usually I have backup. The backup I had was really going to just indent her nose. It didn't have the good padding on the nose like I'm used to. So just over time, it would have messed that up. Sorry, this is just so cool to be able to see that. So you notice that we're kind of idling now. I'm going to idle down until we're about 5 knots here at the pier. We can actually see now. I can zoom in. So you can see some of the rocks there. We are literally have to come in, turn, stay right up against this seawall over here, turn into the basin, and we're going to dock right here along this building, and we can take a picture right there. Actually going to put a little bit in reverse because we are still kind of cruising. Check the map here. Yeah, we're still well out of the rock zone over in this location. But it's pretty awesome that we live in a day and age that. So we got off the ship, and I'm like, okay, well, we need a gentle lead. Well, this is a town after all. Like, yeah, you see the island here, but you know, there's a strip mall I know over here through the rainforest, as it feels like. And we called an Uber, which is my second time in my life ever ordering one. And they brought us to the pet store. That was like 20 minutes away from the dock. I didn't even think about saying, hey, if you stay, we'll just auto book you for our return. Oops. We went inside, got the new gentle lead, got it on, fit, it worked, and called another Uber and went back. It was just one of those things where it was like, we're on a vacation, and I felt like the most normal human thing that we could have done was going to a pet store. So it all worked out. It worked fine. There were some beautiful, some neat shops that were right over here, right off the ship. And one of them was a toy store. Now, I love toy stores. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, I could be 5. I don't care. I don't care your opinion on that. I enjoy toy stores. They have had so many neat things. It felt like a kind of a secondhand store. Weird things to have in Hawaii. But I remember like that, like this NASCAR cup hauler that I really wanted, because I was, you know, I collect those kind of things. You know, the nice metal ones and stuff like that. But I'm like, there's no way I could get this back home. Our suitcases were full coming out. There's no way that my suitcase was going to be able to fit anything else on my way back in. So sadly, I did not purchase that, and it had to stay there. Down to about 7 knots. I really want to be down to like 6 or 5. So we're going to keep a little bit to the stern, and we're going to keep our lefterly turn here into Nawiliwili. And again, it is just this trickier place to get into. Again, we're plenty clear of everything, but this is such a very narrow passage. We are going to have to use our bow thruster as we get a little bit closer, just to get ourselves around the turn. But that's just kind of the nature of it, you know. There's some of these tight places that we go into. And it was so funny because I remember in the video talking about, you know, this trip. I was like, hey, you know, it felt amazing because I couldn't believe that we were able to squeeze ourselves in here. There's bigger ships than the Disney Wonder that come in here. So that's going to be interesting because I do plan to do some princess cruises eventually that leave from Los Angeles that come to Hawaii. I'm going to be very interested how to get in there. So, yeah, so that was our first day. We walked around the shops, couldn't buy anything, because I just didn't have the room for it. And we got Ella a new gentle lead. There we go. That'll do. Give a little bit forward momentum, so we're at least pushing something up against the rudder. Keep on watching that. Keep it between 5 and 6 knots. Should be good. Hi, Bez. Man, you are so much wanting attention today. I mean, I don't care. I'm going to give it to you, but hi. So yeah, that was our first day. Second day, it was the only time that we did an excursion through the ship, a Disney Cruise Line excursion. We went to, I want to make sure that I get it right, because I don't want to get it wrong. Yep. Come on, I need you to be an actual map here and not just because I gotta find it. There we go. Now, where's your name? I found you. There you go. The Kauai Plantation Railway is the experience that we went on. So what it was an old plantation on the island, still grows fruit to this day. I'm actually going to pop myself over here so I can watch this. And they had a train system there. So we went there on a bus full of people, fun ride over, fun tour guide. For other stops, we did do private tours, so we were just with one person, which felt more authentic in terms of like actually getting the history, getting the goods and the bads, not just being fun for families. Like, I very much enjoyed that. So this one felt definitely the more tourist way, but c'est la vie, that's what we had to do. Now, once we got there, we boarded, we walked around the main plantation building, which was like for receptions and stuff like that, kind of a hall. And I was like, okay, that's cool. We boarded a train, which, fun fact, this train and train station were actually used in the Jungle Cruise, the Dwayne Johnson movie. I liked it. Other people didn't seem to like it. I liked that movie. That was a good movie. My personal opinion. Okay, so we're about to come in. We're going to put a little bit. I'm just going to keep you really low. Push the bow over. Want to make sure that the stern comes in as well, so just going to keep on watching this. So yeah, that was in the movie. That was cool. So we rode on the train around the property. We got off and we walked through some of the orchards, talking about a bunch of the plants that they had there and stuff like that, which was really cool. From there, we reboarded the train, and it brought us to the backside of the plantation. Now, this is where the Disney aspect was. Disney always has something a little bit extra compared to everything else, normal groups will do, and this was... Yeah, actually, this is a good switch. So it drops off the back of plantation to this like little pavilion, I guess you could say. It was just like a gazebo. Just watching that. That looks good. Yeah. Very happy with that. There we go. That'll straighten itself out. Plenty clear on the pier. And so once we were at that pavilion, they gave us samples of all the things that they grow on the plantation. I'm not a big adventurous eater, so it wasn't really for me, but the problem was it was this one guy, great guy, who is talking to us and talking about the fruit and talking about the history. But the problem is then he cut up the fruit for all of the guests. Now there's like 20-something people there. It was a long gap in between doing anything. So it was about an hour and a half that we were back there. After that, we reboarded the train, went and saw their pigs, and, brought it back around. I remember I completely forgot about this until pretty much just now. They also did a clay pottery spot where you would show up and you'd paint your clay, and they'd bake it, and, it'd show back up at the ship. Awesome. That was pretty cool. The problem is, when we walked up to the pavilion, and I don't blame anybody. It is just one of those freak things that happened. But Nobody called ahead and let them know that there was a service dog coming. And they had a dog there. So as soon as we even start to approach, a dog comes out and starts barking and barking and barking at Ella. No good for anybody. I take Ella away, and the guide came out and he was like, I am so sorry. Like, I should have called ahead. Again, first off, we're in the United States. There's a lot of service dogs. There's a lot of fake service dogs here in the United States. All that. So they know. I guarantee Ella wasn't the first there. We've been a couple places where I was like, okay, maybe Ella was the first time somebody has been here. So I don't blame anybody. It was just like one of those unfortunate things that then, of course, puts you in a mood. I was not in a good mood after that. And I just, so I was a little sour for our painting time. Just because, that it does put you in a mood. Because it's like, okay, well, now Ella's on high alert. And now I've got to try to sit here and enjoy this thing with my family while Ella is freaking out. Because, again, for people who might not know, Ella has been attacked a bunch of times by fake service dogs. It's actually why I don't do Walmart anymore. I can't go into Walmart anymore because she's actually been attacked a bunch of times in this Walmart and others by people bringing in their pets or people faking service dogs. We've been chased around the store, and she's been grabbed by the neck. So she's got some PTSD when it comes to other dogs, and we've tried to work on it. We're getting better. She's getting better. But I don't blame her for having those moments. We all have these scarring moments in our lives, and it's no different for a dog, especially a working dog. I keep watching, make sure the aft's got plenty of room. Of course, I don't have anybody back there, and my charts aren't that great. Oh yeah, we're fine. And give it a little bit more gas as we come in here. Again, we're going to kind of use this as a turning base and try to put ourselves in here. This looks super shallow, so I don't know how it's going to react with the ship itself, so we'll find out. But overall, it's looking really good as we come in here. So we did that, and that was kind of the end of it, and we went back. So it definitely felt the more tourist way of doing it, but there wasn't tons of options of things to do here besides going through the rainforest. I've seen rainforest before. This one has its own beauty. Just not what we wanted to do at the end. I really wanted to be able to go on this railroad because I thought it was a little bit more than what it was than just going in a circle around the plantation. But overall, it was still a good experience, and we were able to do that. I also remember, since we were here for 2 days, we were on the starboard side, and these mountains, this doesn't do it justice. It's pretty close. These mountains were just beautiful to look at. I love mountains. They're like one of my favorite things to look at, and this one just was beautiful. Alright, I'll put it back in idle for now. Just kind of want to get in here, push the aft around, get the bow pointed, so we'll just let this do its thing for now. Not going to put it in the aft yet. But yeah, so this was beautiful. It was a great backdrop for playing excuse me, shuffleboard too. Shuffleboard. I don't actually know if I ever said what we were doing. Shuffleboard on the starboard side, down on deck 4. Still got to get that sound out. I will remember at some point. So yeah, let's talk about this really quick. This was pretty much like a warehouse building, like a lot of the places here in Hawaii. It has multi-purposes, and this is a car ramp, by the way, in case anybody doesn't know. But yeah, buses were parked up here. We'd get off here, go through the building. There were buildings right along here that you could go to. This was actually a park. There wasn't this tall building here. There's a park with chickens, by the way, in case anybody doesn't know. Hawaii likes their chickens. They're just a wild species there. But you could actually walk along the jetty over here all the way through to over here, and you could get some amazing views of the ship. So, big fan of that. What else was I going to zoom into? Oh. Wait. I've learned something new. If you hold down Shift and you use the scroll wheel, you can move. Usually I have to use the number pad, and this is the speed that we move at. Sometimes I need to move a little bit faster. We learned something new. That's so cool. All right, cool. So we have the ability to kind of run in and out. Great. All right, I'm going to put us a little bit in reverse here. I'm going to also turn our rudder forward. I just want us to slow down a little bit as we get closer to the dock. I'm just going to kick that a little bit more here. God, we can just sprint around now. This is great. I mean, I hate it because it's start and stop, but that's awesome to know. Great. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we learned something today. Let go of the shift button because I need to do that. That's so cool. Then we can just fine-tune with the number pad. All right. We're down to about 1 knot. We're going to leave it there. And what do I want to do? I'm actually going to start kicking the rear over about 12. Just going to keep watching that. I'm actually going to stop this because I remember we kind of came in, we kicked around the rear, and then we slid in. So we'll let the aft do its thing. I'm actually going to bring down, I want us to be at like kind of net zero here. That's being pushed over. That's looking great. Looking great all around. I'm just going to counteract that really quick by a little push. Okay, we're more or less at 0. That's fine. We got this whole area here, so it should be plenty fine. Get ourselves over. Again, technical. This is what's fun for me here. You know, Honolulu, that was fine. That was an in and out. Our last stop when we go to Maui, that's more of an in and out as well. But it's going to be really cool. It's really cool to be able to do this one. Getting out's a little bit easier, but getting in is a little tricky. Drifting a little backwards. So let's put about 6 in there. Can actually keep a little bit momentum forward so we can get closer to the dock. Watching that swing, looking good. Just don't want the bow drifting off so much. That's why we got about 6% there. Looking grand all around. Excuse me. So yeah, we are here until 4:45 tonight, so it's one of our shorter, like Hilo was, because we got to go out to Maui, which we got to go, you know, out and around Honolulu to get here. So it's our longest stretch from the islands. And no, I guess, yeah, 'cause we can't. No, I guess we did do from Hilo over. Yeah, it feels like the longest stretch for an 8:30 arrival tomorrow. But we're in Maui until 11 p.m. Which is pretty awesome. So we got a full day of activities there. Gonna pop off that. Still drifting in, looking great. Sorry, apparently I'm slightly under the weather today. I mean, it's right before Christmas, so I guess who's not, right? I really got to go in and change the RPMs on these. I know I said that, I think, last episode too, but I got to get to it. Okay, we can actually do that. Turn off the thrusters for now. Gonna bring us to 0. Watch the bow. I'm just trying to avoid the sand, so I'm a little bit further back than I'd like to be. I'd like to be a little bit closer. But I just don't want to hit the bottom because, again, the charts are not exactly accurate. Oop. Didn't even realize that we were drifting backwards. This is when I wish we had a multiplayer version of this. I'd love to be able to have at least an officer or two in different locations to try to get this in. Because again, I'm going slow. I'm trying to keep it as simulator as possible. I'll turn that on to 8. Actually, turn that on to 12 to slow that down. And this is almost time to do so, because we do it. They did it almost every arrival before we even got there.
This is the duty officer speaking from the bridge. We'll be sounding our ship's horn from the forward funnel. For those of you on the open decks at this time, you may want to cover your ears. Again, we'll be sounding our ship's horn from the forward funnel. And for those of you that are on the open decks at this time, you may want to cover your ears. Thank you for your attention.
So yeah, they're not going to let us get super close on this one, unfortunately. Because we're pushing with the aft and it's not going anywhere, so it is a little bit. It's got a little bit of forward momentum. Yeah, the front's just going to keep bouncing off, so that's a little bit of a bummer, to be honest. So, yeah, there's a barrier here. It's a little too far. As long as we can kind of end up looking straight, I'll be happy enough with that. And that's the best we're going to get, unfortunately. I hate that. I hate how this looks, because I don't feel like we're alongside, but yeah, we are just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Let's just try kicking that up. I know, you're angry as soon as I do that. I understand that. Just trying to get a little bit closer. Good enough to me. If we go any closer, it's going to freak out completely, so that's going to have to do it for our arrival. We are alongside. Let's drop some lines, shall we? Let's just go out. Let's make sure the lines look at least relatively good. Oh, come on. Am I not going to be able to grab? There you go. At least some overlapping. Hello? Hello? Okay, well, that one's just in the water. That's weird. But the back looks fine. But there you have it, everybody. That is our tricky arrival into Nawiliwili here in Kauai. We'll take the picture. It's gonna be at 4:45. Let's take that now, actually. So let's take a walk, shall we? So we're gonna pop off the ship. I got duties to do as the captain. Yeah, okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is your captain speaking from the bridge. Welcome to Nawiliwili here in the beautiful Kauai. Looks like we have a foggy morning this morning on our approach, but it looks like that should be burning off later in the day. Looks like we're going to have some beautiful weather the whole time that we're here in Kauai. We'll be departing at 4:45 this evening to head off to Maui. That means all aboard time is 4:30 p.m. That is a reminder, 4:30 p.m. is all aboard here back on the Disney Wonder. Whether you plan to go ashore or to stay on the ship, we hope that you have a wonderful day. Not much of a morning person, gotta work on that. But we are here. We are docked, and now it's time for us to go look at something. So let's actually pop in here, take the crew elevator down, you know. Whee! Whee! All right, we're here on deck 4. This is a great way to get around. So this is the new shift scroll button. So let's come out. We're the first ones off the ship. Nice. Nothing like seeing this ship up close. That's so cool. So we'd come around here. We go through this building over here. Man, even though we're running, this is going to take us a bit to get over here. Riveting content, right? It's so cool to see the ship there, though. Stop being a nerd. Gotta stop being a nerd. I don't know. My wife loves me for who I am, so why do I care? Let's pop on over here. So yeah, you come out and there'd be shops over here. They're actually a little bit further away. You still had to walk a bit. Does this count as the park? Instead of all the concrete, this is the park. This is great. Great. Beautiful. This is where Ella saw a chicken and the chicken saw Ella and the chicken was like, what? You want to fight? That was so funny. Coming over here to the breakwater jetty rock system that they have here, which is actually in place, so nice detail. We saw a lot of crabs hanging out over here. My gosh, my finger is killing me. So yeah, this was open. It wasn't even like there was a gate here at all. People were standing at the end of this jetty watching us come in, which is actually where I'm going to set up the camera for our arrival video, and probably departure as well, because it's just the best place. But overall, this was cool to be able. I was like, man, I really want to get over there because it's very rare that you get like a long shot of the ship, you know, without buildings or piers or stuff being in the way. So this was like that perfect opportunity. So we were able to come right over here. And bam, there it is. Let me put myself at the end of the pier and then zoom myself in. Now I'm pretty sure I'm probably a little bit I probably have to go over a little bit more, but really that's it. That's the view that I had to take that beautiful picture, and I took one at night as well, because we were overnight. Unfortunately, we're leaving at 4:45 here, so we won't get that nighttime shot, but it is amazing to see the Disney Wonder there. She's looking great in all of her glory. And thank you guys for being here on the approach. I know I talked a lot this time. We actually had kind of like an uninterrupted approach, which is not super common, but I knew as soon as we came in, we would be very quickly getting into things where I probably wouldn't be able to talk that much, and we are right on the button on time. So again, a 4:45 departure. In the next video, we'll be heading out to Maui for our final stop of this trip before going back to Honolulu to load up to head to Australia. But that's going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoy what you saw, we do try to get a video out here on the channel every single day, and we really do appreciate that continued support. But with that, I thank you guys so much for coming out to this one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.